Among the major business success stories in Asia, the aviation industry in Vietnam has produced one of the most fascinating stories of growth and success in Asia's aviation industry. The story is the feature of this video, the rise of VietJet, one of the fastest growing low-cost carriers in the region. Within a decade of its founding and first flights, VietJet has had its fair shares of challenges and tribulations, as well as major successes and expansion plans. While it has been one of the major headline airlines of the industry in the region, it has also sparked controversy for some of its marketing tactics in a mostly socially conservative region of Southeast Asia. The idea of VietJet starts with one person, Nguyen Thi Phung Thao, a Vietnamese-based businesswoman, owner of the company Sovico, which has ventures in finance, banking, real estate, and recently the aviation industry through VietJet. After seeing the opportunity in low-cost aviation in the region, Nguyen would study the likes of Ryanair, Southwest, and AirAsia by looking into their business models. This led to her idea of VietJet, the airline itself, being approved by the Vietnamese government in 2007, and initially the airline had plans to start flights in 2008. While the founding of VietJet and the start of the company was a milestone in Vietnam being the first privately owned airline in the country, financial problems and the high fuel prices delayed the launch of the airline between the years 2008 and 2011. Among the biggest events that was cited as one of the reasons for delays was the late 2000s global financial crisis, which heavily affected the global economy. In an effort to launch the flights of the airline would later partner up with AirAsia in 2010, reportedly buying a 30% stake in the airline. While there was a launch date set, there was an issue with the aviation authorities in Vietnam citing a branding conflict, and again the airline launch was delayed. After an additional series of delays in obtaining the aviation licenses required for operation, AirAsia would eventually rescind its partnership and joint venture with VietJet in October of 2011, though that did not stop the airline from beginning its operations. After a series of delays for years, the airline finally made its maiden flight on December 25, 2011, Christmas Day, with a flight between Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi. Within the first few months of operation, the airline operated a fleet of just 3 Airbus A320 aircraft. After initially serving a network of domestic destinations, the airline would eventually start international expansion with its first international destinations of Bangkok, Thailand. With more ambitions, the airline began making mass orders of Boeing and Airbus jets. While its existing fleet is of 66 aircraft, mostly Airbus A320 and A321 aircraft, the airline has over 100 Airbus A321neos on order, as well as over 200 Boeing 737 MAX jets on order, making VietJet one of the largest customers for the Boeing 737 MAX program, though the large MAX jet orders are now under question and scrutiny due to the recent incidents involving the 737 MAX. It's also been recently reported by Reuters that the airline is set to acquire around 15 of the Airbus A321 XLRs. Today, the VietJet network spans around 18 domestic and 26 international destinations, including cities in China, Japan, Taiwan, Thailand, South Korea, and the airline will be starting new flights to India by the end of the year. Along with the large jet orders and international expansion, the airline also started its own subsidiary in Thailand, Thai VietJet, in March of 2015, following the lead of AirAsia in starting subsidiaries in other countries. While VietJet's aggressive expansion plans have made headlines, some of its marketing tactics have landed the airline in controversy as well as criticism over the use of women in its advertising. The airline has made headlines and has gained the recognition as a bikini airline, following a maiden flight between Ho Chi Minh and Nha Trang. The flight in question involved a contest with women in bikinis, which led to Vietnamese government officials fining the airline $1,000 for what was seen as an unapproved show on a flight. In another flight in 2018, which happened to be carrying members of Vietnam's under-23 football team, the airline drew controversy as bikini-clad women were actually on the flight and was interacting with members of the team, leading VietJet to apologize for the situation. While it normally doesn't feature bikini-clad women in most of its flights, as part of its marketing efforts, a calendar is published each year, though the recurring thing that you will notice is that the women are wearing, you guessed it, bikinis. The annual calendar and the bikini flights draw the ire of many of those who believe the airline is exploiting women. And VietJet has had to assure some countries where they fly to that they will not feature women in such antics. While the airline gets criticism for such antics, Yen has addressed the issue, quoted in a CNBC report saying, quote, "In this world, there are a lot of beauty contests where contestants wear bikinis in competition. The bikini shows beautiful characteristics. Our message at VietJet is we did this for the benefit of beauty and happiness." Bikinis aside, the rise of VietJet could be attributed to the growing economic fortunes of Vietnam and the liberalization of the country's aviation industry, where VietJet is paved the way for a future of private airlines in the country. While it has benefited from being the first mover in terms of being a low-cost carrier and a private carrier, VietJet is starting to see new challengers coming up from the local scene, including private ventures looking to tap into the opportunities of the growing Vietnamese aviation industry. One major concern in terms of operation to pay attention to is the increase of air traffic and congestion at Vietnam's airports, as well as the maintenance of the aircraft. After a series of incidents involving VietJet aircraft in 2018, the Vietnamese government issued a warning to the airline. And with a large number of aircraft incoming, as part of major orders, the airline will have to improve on these areas. Despite this, the airline is continuing to see large growth year after year, posting a profit of over 53 trillion Vietnamese dong in 2018. The overall outlook for VietJet is very positive, so how far do you think that VietJet can grow and expand? Thank you for watching. This has been another edition of Flights in Asia, highlighting the news and updates from the aviation and travel scene in the Asia Pacific. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, thank you for watching and have a great day.